I have been following congressional hearings for 15 years. I have seen the collapse of coalitions. I have witnessed unexpected alliances falling apart. But I have never seen a president corner a witness appointed by his own party, someone from his own side, live on air and so directly. April 18th, 2025. House Judiciary Committee, 2:47 p.m. Jim Jordan had been someone who had defended Patel for 8 months, supported him on television, and protected him in congressional chambers. He sat down in his chair with a thick binder. He looked at Patel, and he asked, "Director Patel, where are the Epstein files? You said it would be published to this committee within 90 days. It's been 8 months. Where are the files?" Patel's color drained. His right hand slipped to the edge of the table, and the following 47 seconds brought down a narrative built with 8 months of careful attention. Watch the entire video, because this moment represents much more than just a political conflict. But to understand those 47 seconds, you need to understand why Jordan asked that question that day. Because this was not the result of momentary anger, but of broken trust. Section 1. Who is Jordan and why does it matter? Jim Jordan, an Ohio Republican, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, someone who has defended the administration against the harshest criticisms for years. Jordan's courtroom style is well known to everyone. He gives ample space to witnesses coming from his side. He asks questions that will make it easier for them to answer. He creates opportunities for them to look good. He protects his allies. This is the standard logic in Washington for how political capital is used. That day, all this logic was turned upside down. Jordan was different that morning when he walked into the courtroom. He didn't have his usual relaxed expression. The file, usually thin for friendly hearings, was overflowing. When he sat down, he didn't talk to the other members. He just looked at that folder, and I felt that something was different. Chapter 2. The First Hour. As if everything were normal. The first hour of the hearing met expectations. Other Republican members asked about border security, Chinese espionage, and counterterrorism operations. Patel answered with practiced confidence. He smiled. He made eye contact. Produced sound bites suitable for Fox News clips. Democrats brought up FBI firings, pressured investigations, various scandals. Patel batted each one away in bureaucratic language. Ongoing investigations, personnel matters, I can't discuss in an open session. Jim Jordan, on the other hand, sat quietly and watched without speaking much. After this demeanor, which experienced observers described as patience, preparation, and waiting for the right moment, he finally spoke at 2:47 p.m. Section 3. 8-month oath. The room changed instantly when Jim Jordan, with a voice carrying an Ohio accent but an unexpected certainty, said, "Director Kash Patel, I want to talk about what you told this committee 8 months ago." Reporters lifted their heads from their phones. Democratic members leaned forward. Republican members exchanged bewildered glances because this was not in the script, and Jordan slowly opened the folder, pulled out a single page, raised it to the cameras, and then put on his reading glasses. Jim Jordan almost never wears glasses during hearings. He prefers eye contact for the cameras. He maintains the image of looking like every other guy. It was a gesture that meant glasses, certainty, word-for-word quote, cornering someone with their own words. "I'm quoting from the August 23rd hearing transcript," Jordan said. "FBI is committed to full transparency regarding the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. We will publish all documents not subject to ongoing investigation restrictions within 90 days. The American people deserve the truth, and under my leadership, the FBI will deliver it." He looked over his glasses at Patel. "This was 8 months ago, Director Patel." 8 months. You said 90 days. He paused. He allowed the tension to build up. "Where are the files? Where are the files?" If you want to regularly follow this type of political analysis content, subscribe to our channel. If you keep notifications on, you won't miss these developments. Let's continue. Chapter 4. The First Crack. A silence fell in the room, so quiet that you could hear a pin drop, and all the cameras focused on Kash Patel's face. And there it was, In real time, I saw it. The facade that had been maintained for 8 months was cracking. Patel changed his way of sitting. He leaned back, his relaxed posture gone. His shoulders tensed. His right hand slipped to the edge of the table. President Jordan, as I explained in previous statements, the document release process involves multiple federal agencies, complex classification reviews, and legal... I didn't ask about the process. Jordan's voice cut through like a knife. And notice this. Jordan never interrupts witnesses coming from his side. He gives them space, helps them with their answers. He makes them look good. But he interrupted Patel in the middle of his sentence. I asked where the files were. You said 90 days. 240 days have passed. This is not a process question, Director. This is a math question. Where are the files? Patel blinked. You could see him recalculating in real time. This shouldn't have happened. Jordan was a safe harbor. He was the friendly president with whom they would weather the typhoons together. Mr. President, I understand and share your disappointment. But the complexity of these documents, their sensitive nature... Jordan pulled out another document. Chapter 5, National Archive Letter. Jim Jordan interjected, Director, I have a letter from the National Archives dated October 15th, 2024, 6 months ago, and then turned the document, with its official letterhead clearly visible, toward the camera. Let me read. All documents responding to the House Judiciary Committee's request related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation have been reviewed, and those deemed appropriate have been prepared for public release with confidentiality waived. We are awaiting the FBI's authorization to produce the documents. Jordan's voice rose. 6 months ago, Director. The National Archives, which actually hold the documents, said they were ready. It was waiting for your signature. So what happened? Why didn't you authorize it? This was the escape point. I saw the safe FBI director, whom Kash Patel had been smoothly fending off for hours, cornered. His face paled. Her eyes darted to the lawyer behind her, seeking help that would never come. Mr. President, that letter does not reflect the full picture of interagency coordination. Which interinstitutional coordination? Jordan didn't let go. The archive says the documents are ready. The confidentiality has been lifted. The only thing standing between the American people and the truth is your signature. I ask you again, why didn't you publish the files? 20 seconds of silence. In congressional hearings, 20 seconds is an eternity. It is the announcement that the witness has no answer, or that the answer will bury him in a deeper pit. Patel was sitting. You could see his mind racing through options, looking for a way out of the corner. His lawyers were not letting him off the hook. No one was prepared for this. Chapter 6, Misunderstanding. Kash Patel finally spoke, but his voice lacked the confidence he had displayed for an hour, and when he said, Mr. Chairman, there may have been a communication issue regarding the timeline and scope. Jim Jordan, repeating the phrase, communication issue, leaned forward and transformed his voice from performative anger to real anger, saying, Director Patel, I defended you, went on television, and told the American people that you were different, that you would bring transparency to the FBI, that you would release the Epstein files, and that you would give the victim families the truth they deserve. And then paused. I have put my credibility on the line for you. I told people they should trust. And now, as a person who has made a direct commitment to this committee and the American people, you are talking about a communication issue. His voice lowered but gained weight. I will ask very clearly, did you lie then, or are you lying now? Lies. The word hung in the room. Jim Jordan lied to the FBI director in a congressional hearing, in front of an open microphone. The Republican members looked shocked. Democratic members were trying to hide their astonishment and satisfaction. The reporters were writing like crazy. Chapter 7, Internal Memorandum. Patel made one last attempt at defense. I strongly object to this characterization. This committee or the American people intentionally... Then prove it. Jordan pulled out another document. I have an internal FBI memo dated March 3rd, 2025, from a month ago. Subject line, Epstein document release indefinitely suspended. He started reading. His voice was cold and precise. According to the allegation, the memorandum included the following. Pursuant to Director Patel's verbal instruction, all document production related to the Epstein investigation will be indefinitely reviewed. No publication schedule will be provided for congressional oversight or external requests. The justification will be cited as concerns for confidentiality. Jordan raised his head. This is your own internal memo, Director. The FBI's own documentation of your order to bury the files indefinitely, while saying that work is being done on public release. Last time I'm asking, and I want the truth. Where are the Epstein files, and why did you lie to this committee? Last time I'm asking, and I want the truth. Where are the Epstein files, and why did you lie to this committee? Chapter 8, 47 seconds. Jim Jordan had only asked, "Where are the files?" 47 seconds ago, and in that short time, the narrative built over 8 months was collapsing, leaving Kash Patel with no bureaucratic shield, no legal justification, and no sentence to deflect the situation. Mr. Chairman, to meet with my counsel and to provide a more comprehensive response to the committee. The request was denied. Jordan's voice was icy cold. You had 8 months to fix your story, Director. You knew what questions this committee would ask. And now, when I ask you why you lied to this committee, you want a break. He slowly shook his head. Now answer me. Where are the files? Where are the files? Chapter 9. Pivot Initiative and Conclusion. When Kash Patel tried to change the subject with a last-ditch effort, implying that the focus should be on the FBI's current critical work, Jim Jordan cut him off with a single word. No. And stood up saying, No, don't try to change the subject. Don't bring Democrats or politics into it. This is about you, Director Patel. You sat in that chair 8 months ago and told the American people they would see the Epstein files. You said 90 days, and you lied. In congressional hearings, chairpersons rarely stand up. Standing up means stopping asking questions and making a statement. Now let me tell you what's going to happen. This committee will issue subpoenas for every document related to the Epstein investigation, every email related to the publication process, every memo related to classification decisions, and every communication between the FBI and the National Archives. For everything. He raised his hammer but didn't strike yet. And if I find out that you deliberately withheld these documents for political reasons, protecting powerful names that should be exposed, lying to this committee? He looked directly at Patel. Whoever appointed you, whichever side you are on, whatever the politics, I personally demand your resignation. Whoever appointed you, whichever side you are on, whatever the politics, I personally request your dismissal. Chapter 10. Public Reaction. The trial lasted another hour, but no one could pay attention. Everyone was trying to digest what had just happened. The clips spread instantly. Jim Jordan went Patel trended. Conservative media wobbled. Some framed it as tough but fair oversight, while others quickly distanced themselves from Patel. According to publicly available sources, multiple sources reported that Jordan saw additional classified documents after the hearing. It was claimed that these documents indicated an active cover-up protecting specific individuals beyond just document delays. If true, Jordan's anger was not instantaneous. It was a reaction to a broken trust when he realized that Patel had used him as a supporter, using his credibility as a shield. But where this information came from and what its content is has not been officially verified. Chapter 11. Claim or Reality. It is important to be clear at this point. Verified. Jordan presented the National Archives letter and dated information in front of the cameras. He claimed to have read the contents of the internal memo. These statements were recorded in the minutes. Still unclear. The complete accuracy and context of the internal memorandum's content. The existence and content of the alleged additional documents that Jordan saw. The implications of the subpoena and how the document publication process will proceed. This process, beyond being a political conflict, raises serious questions about the functioning of institutional accountability. Should congressional oversight work this way? Or is there a more complex picture behind a performance that collapses in 47 seconds? The answers to these questions are not yet available. 3 minutes, 47 seconds. One question. 3 minutes. From Jordan asking a single question to Patel's unraveling. 47 seconds. From the question, "Where are the files?" to the unraveling of an 8-month narrative. And at the heart of it all, the inability to answer a simple question. Sometimes, corporate accountability starts not with dramatic revelations, but with someone leaning forward and saying, "You promised, where is it now?" Jordan did that. The files have not yet been released, the summons process is ongoing, and the legal consequences are not yet clear. But that 47 seconds changed one thing. It has now been documented that the response, "The process is ongoing," is not an answer to a statement that has been recorded. And in Washington, D.C., one of the hardest things is to eliminate a lie that has been documented once. If you have followed this analysis up to this point and want to keep up with the content on corporate accountability, subscribe to our channel and keep the notifications on. We will continue to analyze the developments of this process here. You can share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about whether congressional oversight works this way? See you in the next video.